Hello and welcome back to The Absolute Mom. Today, Lexi and I, she is 11, we are going to make Grandma Connie's chili. And so we wanted to take you along with this. It's winter time. It's kind of that perfect time for a little bit of chili anyways. And this is such a simple recipe, that's for sure. I know I asked my mom for years for the recipe and she's gonna say exactly what I say to you today is I don't really have measurements, I just put the stuff together. And so I'll do my best that I can to let you guys like how much I'm putting in of different seasonings and such, but every family is so different on what their preferences are. If you are one that like peppers and chunky tomatoes in yours, that is something that you will want to add because there's none of that in this recipe. For this recipe, you do not need very many ingredients. The only thing that's not pictured here is I have 1.5 to 2 pounds of browned hamburger meat. We already browned that. We're using the Instapot today, so we already browned that in there. And if you have an Instapot, you know that this is so versatile and it does so many things for you. And if you use the saute feature, it gets very hot and it gets the job done very fast. So in that hamburger meat, as I was browning it, I added some granulated onion, some seasoning salt, some garlic powder, just a little bit, and some pepper. So then I drained off most of the grease. So the next step that we are going to do is that I'm going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in the bottom of the Instapot pan. I'm going to turn the saute function back on and we are going to soften up 1 medium onion. Now this is diced pretty small because my family does not like big chunks of onion in it, but we do like the flavor that it gives the chili. So, all right, so turn on your saute. All right, and then you are going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in the bottom of the pan. A little more. Okay. And then you are going to dump all of your onions in there. Here's this. Yep, and make sure to keep moving them. So as you can tell, I did not wash this pan in between browning the meat and doing these onions. It's just not needed. It's all extra seasoning and flavors going into the same exact thing. So this has been in here for maybe 4 minutes tops. It's kind of getting on the verge of being done. So usually once they start browning and you can smell that they are starting to be sweet instead of that oniony smell, almost like smelling an onion ring instead, I put the hamburger meat back in and get it all mixed up at that point. If all of them are getting black, then you have gone too far.
It does smell like an onion.
We are going to put all of our hamburger meat back in it and get it mixed up very well. I don't know if you guys have Instapots. This part doesn't get hot. It is fine to touch. I always do. And then the other thing is you can put a binder clip like right here or in between any of these so that your pot quits spinning around nonstop. So I'm going to make sure she gets all this stuff off the bottom and all of it mixed up nicely. At this point, I'm going to turn the saute function off and I'm going to turn the slow cooker function on. Also, I am going to put some chili powder and some ground cumin in the hamburger meat. If you want to do the cumin, I'll do the chili powder. I always hold these tops to make sure, see, yours is missing. And this chili powder and cumin is what kind of gives it a little bit of a kick. And so you want to make sure that you get enough of it in there. Here, I'll do this. So this one, we lost the top of it. And so I'm just going to use like the bottom part of a spoon to get some out. and put it all over. So we just start with some, and then we just keep on adding it and retasting this as it cooks. All right, so she's mixing that up very well for me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the thing of tomato sauce and let this cook down with the hamburger meat and onions a little bit. And this way too, anything that was kind of sticking to the bottom of the Instapot, it will help release that and bring it up. All right, so this is what it's looking like after we put the tomato sauce and the seasonings and the hamburger meat all together. We might end up adding a little bit of more tomato sauce because it's a little bit thicker than normal, but I am going to go ahead and add the other ingredients to see what I feel. All right, so the next things that we're going to add is this hot dog chili sauce. It gives it more seasoning and it also thickens it up a little bit. As you could tell, we don't really need the thickening portion of it, but we'll kind of wait and see where we need, because we do add a little bit of water trying to rinse out these cans. We can use a spatula here. So all these cans that we are using, as you can see, there's a lot of seasoning still in there. And so I just kind of put them to the side because I end up putting water into one of them, dumping it into the next one and the next one. And so collectively all together, it's not tons of water, but it's a lot of extra seasoning. We're going to dump our beans in. As I said, we're a family of 6. And so beans and hamburger, we just make more of so that it stretches this recipe a little bit further. All right, and one more can of beans. I have never tried eating these. Here, if you want to scrape out the can. I've never tried eating these just plain. I don't know if people normally do, but I feel like they are so good in this chili. Like, we've tried using other brands of chili beans, and it doesn't make this chili. It doesn't make it good.
This is full now.
All right. So as you can see, this is a very big batch. This Instapot is the IP Luxe. I want to say it's 8 quart or 9 quart. I forget which one was the biggest, but it is the biggest one. And it's full. Like, there's a lot of it in here. I am definitely seeing that it's going to need either some more tomato sauce or some water. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna rinse out all these cans that have a lot of goodies still in them. And we're gonna see how thick or how thin our chili is at that point. All right, so we just put some water in the can. It's probably 3/4 of a cup, like half a cup to 3/4 of a cup. And I just swirl the can around to try to get as much goodness off of there as I can. And then we are going to do it to the next can. Don't spill it. And we're gonna swirl that around to get as much goodness. All right, so normally I do not put this into a separate bowl, but if you could see how much seasoning is still left in those cans, this is exactly why I do it the way that I do it, because that is a lot of flavor right there. So we are going to add all this into our chili, and she's going to stir that up also. I'm going to, I know I haven't tasted it, but I'm used to making this. I'm going to add just a little bit more cumin and a little bit more chili powder. So we've probably been at making this for maybe 8 to 10 minutes, so it's been very fast to throw it all together, meaning it's in one pot in the Instapot. And that's literally from grabbing all these supplies out, cutting up the onion, browning the meat, like all of the different steps. And you could see it's nice and easy to clean up too. All we're going to have is, I have this little trash bowl with the lids and the extra onion parts. I have these cans to rinse out the rest of the way and put in recycling. And then I have the seasonings that I'll put back away. Other than that, we have one pot that is dirty. This consistency is looking a lot better, so I'm not going to go ahead and add any more water or tomato sauce quite yet. we are going to cover this and let it be on the slow cooker for some time, and then I will taste it then. I'll do a tiny taste now, but I kind of wait until it's been simmering together for a while before. Oh, she's tasting it. Is it Grandma Connie's chili? Okay, so I make sure to just re-season throughout the time to make sure where we are at seasonings. So it is on the slow cooker function. We have put everything away. Lexi's gonna wipe down the counter for any splatters that have happened. We did leave the ground cumin and the chili powder out because here in about a half hour, I will open up the Instapot and I will taste the chili to see if I feel like it needs more seasoning. As you could tell, this is such an easy, fast recipe to do. Like my kitchen is clean already. We just need to wash the cutting board from cutting up the onion, the bowl that the onion was in, and then the bowl that I put the trash in. Other than that, everything's just the Instapot, and then I just need to put away the dishes that are already clean behind the Instapot that was drying from lunch. The chili has been on for about a half hour. I did just taste it and stir it around very well. I do think the consistency is good for us because it will thin down just a little bit more. And I added just a little bit more ground cumin and chili powder to it also. It will stay in the Instapot for the next hour or two on the slow cooker method, and then it's ready just whenever we are ready. All right, so here is the chili completely done. It's been simmering in the slow cooker for a couple of hours. My husband likes sour cream and cheese and some chives on his. And then here's mine with some sour cream and some cheese. So we'll both have some saltine crackers with it. Also, it's a nice chilly day, and so it's the perfect day to be eating this. All right, I hope you guys enjoy the recipe.